Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will start now. So, thanks for joining us today. My name is Akash. I'm the Sales Director with DataCare LLC, and I'll be moderating this for you. I would like to introduce, first of all, my panel of speakers today. I have with me Mr. Fatih Yank from Infortrend, who is the Senior Sales Manager for Middle East, Turkey, and Africa region. Thank you, Mr. Fatih, for joining us here.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for sparing your time for this online webinar with DataCare, Digifort, and Infortrend today.
Thank you, sir. We also have Mr. Jeff Lynn, also from Infortrend, who is the pre-sales director, and he'll be available to answer. So anytime you have a question, you can ask us in the chat box. I also have with me Mr. Francois Levy from Digifort, who is the business development director for EMEA region. Thank you, Mr. Francois, for joining us here.
Thank you very much for hosting me today and giving me the chance to show Digifort for this presentation, Akash.
Thank you, sir. So before we start, I would like to ask a very interesting question. Probably you have seen the statistics earlier also, but if you haven't, I would like to ask, what do you think? How much surveillance footage is actually disregarded in the court as an evidence to prove a crime because of the poor quality? I'm not even counting those instances where the footage was not actually available, footage that was extremely low resolution or something that cannot be conclusively used as a proof. So please type your answer in the chat box. Hi, good morning, Mr. Tuma Cheng from Sydney here. So you guys can type your answer, 60%, Mr. Francois, okay? Please type your answers in the chat box. Just Mr. Mumtaz Alam says 80%, okay? 60%, Mr. Gopi Krishnan, okay? All right, so most of you say it's around 60%, but actually the statistics say it's around 80%. Now, we don't have to believe it's 80%, but if it's a known person, then 20%, that is correct, sir. Now, 60 to 80% also is shocking because that actually beats the whole purpose of having a surveillance camera. And if you can't use it meaningfully, you can't use it to recognize somebody, or even if you use it to identify somebody, if it can't be conclusively used as an evidence, then that beats the purpose. So the whole idea is behind this webinar that surveillance doesn't have to be that way. You have a choice of having meaningful surveillance, and we'll show you the solutions that give you high performance, resilient, and cost-effective solutions that go much beyond what you see, right? So first, the storage solutions and converged storage solution, which have storage and computing from Infortrend. Mr. Fatih, I would like to ask you to present the solutions from Infortrend here.
Thank you, Akash, and thank you from Taiwan to all attendees and other presenters. Today, we would like to introduce you Infortrend and Digifort solutions for security and surveillance industry, together with our local partner, DataCare in UAE and Qatar. So from Infortrend's perspective, we together with Intel, Microsoft, and Digifort are trying to make the world a safer and a better place to live. First of all, I would like to introduce you myself. My name is Fatih Yank. I am the Senior Sales Manager of Infortrend in charge of Middle East, Turkey, and Africa region. I have been in IT field, industrial PC, server and storage business in Taiwan over 25 years. Let me start with our company profile. Infortrend is established on year 1993, and we are a publicly listed company in Taiwan Stock Exchange since the year 2002. Our headquarters and manufacturing plant is located in Taipei, Taiwan. We have branch offices in Japan, in China, in Europe, in UK, and in North America. We employ more than 600 people globally, and our capital and revenue is around 100 million US dollars. If someone asks you, what is the differentiator between Infortrend and other storage vendors, the key point will be our dedication and focus on storage more than 2 decades. And most importantly, all the products are designed and manufactured in-house by means of production owned by our own company. We are not an OEM maker to outside. And we do have the full product portfolio and coverage in storage. And most importantly, we have on-site proven, solid and reliable products. Till now, we have more than 1 million enterprise storage units, and if we consider the life cycle of products around 5 to 10 years, it means that around 200,000 units are still up and running globally. We have very dedicated focus on engineering and design, and most of the technology is in-house developed technology. For the market positioning of Infortrend, from the beginning till now, Infortrend is focusing on enterprise 19-inch rack mount storage and also covering the SMB market. But our focus is not on SOHO or consumer business. So if you are comparing Infortrend products, no matter recording servers or SAN storage products, you should better compete them with Dell EMC, NetApp, or HPE. For the vertical markets, we cover most of our revenue and business coming from security and surveillance business, where we do have tested and validated products with Digifort. And another important market is again related to video storage in media and entertainment or the broadcast industry. We also have AI, data center, and HPC, high performance computing related products being served to enterprise IT sector. For all the technologies we have, the biggest achievement from the Taiwanese vendors is that Infortrend is the first company from Taiwan whom is capable of designing scale-out NAS products, along with our dual redundant controller design, modular and cableless design, which is very important for industrial applications. And we are also capable of designing 4U 60-bay high storage. Other than these, we do have centralized storage management software designed in-house, and we do have multiple value-added data services like storage tiering, team provisioning, snapshots, volume mirror copy, and replication. So how do we achieve this? In our internal company organization, on the bottom, we do have our R&D teams, which is in charge of the signal integrity, PC board design, and the safety teams in charge of quality control for EMC and safety. We have the engineering and design validation team. On the top of the hardware team, we have the firmware hardware and also the embedded software design team. On its top, we have the product and project management team. And on the very top, we have the solution research and intellectual property teams doing the patent applications. By means of engineering collaboration, we have the electronic engineering team doing the high speed and high quality signal integrity, mechanical engineering team doing the modular and cableless and toolless design, along with thermal validations. And we have the software team doing the embedded OS or the firmware, as well as the value-added data services. Finally, we have another team doing the verifications, tests, and compatibility for seamless integration along with multiple OSs, as well as value-added software like Digifort. So quality is our first priority, and in order to be able to achieve this, other than the ISO 9001 and 14001 certificates, we have the design stage and procurement or vendor stage, as well as the manufacturing stage of quality control. And we do have the closed loop corrective action plan or mechanism to follow it up after the sales or service stage. To achieve the high quality, we have a lot of tests being performed by means of system level for environmental tests, as well as the simulations on redundancy and high availability. So, most important factor, as I have already emphasized, is that we do own our means of production, the manufacturing facility, and we deploy total quality management supported with 6 Sigma and 8D quality control principles. For today's coverage, we are going to focus on 2 product families. One is IonServe 5000 Gen 2, which is a recording server on which factory pre-installed operating system and Digifort VMS can be installed. The other product line is our Pure Sense Storage IonStore DS family, where the VMS is installed on third-party servers, but storage is being mapped to these servers by using iSCSI or fiber channel SAM protocols. Let's start with IonServe 5000 Gen 2. The specialty of this product is coming with Infortrend's own RAID virtualization platform. It means that in a single enclosure, we do have a hypervisor, and it is dedicating CPU thread, allocated memory, and some I/O to a unit as virtual SAN device inside the server. And after it boots with dedicated resources, the server OS, Windows 10 Enterprise or Windows Server 2016 or 2019 can be factory pre-installed on the unit. Then our customer, our partner can receive it and install Digifort VMS on that unit. What is the specialty? If you ask me, what is the specialty of this server and general purpose other servers with RAID card, it is the fact that if you do not have a dedicated SAN device or DOS unit with pre-allocated resources like on the right way, as we show here on the graph, the operation is so stable and smooth. But for the general servers, there will be some peak ups and downs, and the system will not operate so smoothly, so stably, and with not the same performance. For this family, we have EV1000, EV5000 Gen 2, and EV7000. But for EV7000, we have announced EOL, and it will be replaced with new coming CPU SKUs on EV5000 Gen 2. So for the future in Qatar and UAE market with data care, we are going to focus on 2 different SKUs of EV5000 Gen 2. This will be one with Core i3 CPU and 2U12 bay, which we position as up to 64 cameras. And the other one is with Xeon E 2226GE 6-core Xeon CPU, and in 3U16 base, this will be positioned in between 64 to 150 cameras with 2 megapixel resolution. So for these units, we also have in-house designed and compatible JBOD expansion units in 12, 16, and 60 base. One thing very important and need to highlight from Infortrend is our open drive policy. We do validate first tier drive manufacturers like Seagate, Western Digital, HGST, and Toshiba, and we do openly announce these compatible drives on our website to public. So it means that unlike the US brands, we are not changing the microcode of hard drives, and we are not locking the drives. So this means that we have a fair price bundle policy on drives, and customer can check the existing current market price and compare the pricing. It is not a must to procure the device drives from Infortrend. On the other side, we do have a unique design. As you can see here on the right bottom of the picture, the motherboard design is modular and field replaceable. So in case of an RMA, you can replace the motherboard immediately and it can be swapped on site. We do have redundant power supply units and redundant fans, which also enable high availability. So for these units, we also have a special design that we select Intel's embedded CPU SKUs, which are promised to exist and have longevity up to 7 years from Intel. They also are low power consumption, so we can have a fanless design on many components. The other advantage we bring is Infortrend's intelligent driver recovery mechanism, which can use the smart function of the drives and detect drive failures prior to it occurs. It helps RAID rebuild prevention. So for the EV5000, you can see here, it comes with, on the back side, 2.5-inch slots where we do install the operating system, Windows 10 Enterprise IoT or Windows Server 2016 or Windows Server 2019 option on RAID 1 to two durable EWDP1 SSDs, enterprise SSDs. These units also have multiple display out, 2 HDMI and 1 VGA, and it comes with onboard 4 iSCSI or gigabit LAN ports. For these units, I think the biggest advantage to the integrator or to the end user is that on Windows, we have a SandWatch, so-called management software, and you just can plug in the hard drives and you can set the RAID very easily in a very user-friendly manner. So there is no cabling, you don't need to hustle with cables, there is no RAID card. RAID is integrated into the unit as a virtual SAN device. This is the general topology. In the EONSERV topology, VMS is installed. Digifort is installed on EONSERV, and it can cascade or scale up by using JBOD expansions. So we do have high density support here. You can also cascade in the future and upgrade the capacity with 4U in 60 bays. So to sum up, Infortrend's own RAID technology with embedded hypervisor or virtual machine on the unit allocates dedicated resources to SAN. So it enables stable operation and superior performance when compared to general purpose servers. These units, thanks to hardware RAID, can support more than 400 drives. So it has high scalability. And thanks to SandWatch management user interface, which is a user-friendly interface, setup and maintenance is very easy. Finally, we do have the IDR function other than RAID, and it enables better data protection and avoids RAID rebuild. The other product line we are going to focus is Infortrend's dual redundant controller SAN storage products. We call them IONSTORE DS family. They are for projects having more than 200 cameras or even more scalable ones with bandwidth hungry, IOPS hungry, but still cost-effective solution. So for the IONSTORE DS family, we have 4 series. You can see the IOPS and read-write speed of each in this series as the graph indicates. So this is the comparison starting from 120K IOPS up to 750, which also means that 5.5 gigabyte read and 1.9 maximum gigabyte write speeds till 11 gigabyte read to 5.5 gigabyte write speeds. So all these products are using hardware-ready technology, and they support more than 400 drives. This is also a very big differentiator when compared with other competitors. These kind of products are coming with higher price tags from other competitors. One other advantage of Infortrend's modular design is rich I/O interfaces thanks to our modular design. So we call it host board, which in fact is a network interface card. And we do support all available connectivities from 1 gig, 10 gig, 25 gig, and 40 gig Ethernet or iSCSI, along with 16 and 32 gig fiber channel. Again, the same for DS SAN storage products. We have a rich option for expansion, future expansion, including 12, 16, 24, and 60 bay expansion and closure options. The same fair pricing and open drive policy exists also for SAN storage products. So we do lots of efforts for doing compatibility of verification and validations for all drive manufacturers, collect the global quantity, and provide very competitive and transparent pricing together with our SAN storage products. Again, for these products, we do have dual redundant controllers, dual power supply, and dual fans supported in a modular design, which enables field replacement very easily and service. For the high availability design, we do have mirrored write-back cache and cache protection technology supported with supercapacitors or PBUs, which means that in case of an overall power outage, the instantaneous data is being protected on the controller, on the motherboard, by a supercapacitor or battery, and it is written on a flash module. And when the power is back on again, this data is written on the drives. So it avoids instantaneous power data loss due to power shortages. Again, on these units, we do have IDR function, which supported by smart function on the drives and avoids bad blocks and prevents RAID rebuild. For the SAN storage topology, Digifort VMS is installed on third-party recording servers, and storage is mapped to these servers from Infortrend DS coupled with JBOD expansions. If we look into the design here, we see the drive base. In the middle, there is a backplane, and there are high-speed connectivity, high-speed connectors here for dual redundant controllers supported by dual power supply units and dual fans. For the 1000 series, we have one host port slot where you can add additional network interconnects along with the onboard IOs here. And these units by default support up to 7 JBODs, and together with host port, it can be increased up to support of 14 JBODs. Similar design on DS3000, but the main differentiator is better performance and having 2 host port slots per each RAID controller. And the same for DS4000U, which is coming with the highest IOPS. Again, we use the SAMwatch management software, easily set up and manage these units and monitor for long-term service. So to sum up, we have these advantages for high availability: the redundant and modular design, BBU and supercapacitor supported cache protection, IDR for data protection and RAID rebuild against RAID rebuild, supported with open drive policy, which is very important, and the determinator to win projects in scalable storage capacities, along with support of more than 400 drives thanks to hardware RAID and rich I/O expansion, including 8, 16, 32 gig fiber channel or 1, 10, 25, and 40 gig Ethernet or iSCSI support. So within the 27 years of Infortrend's operation, we got multiple awards from prestigious industry magazines like CIA Review, Storage Performance Council, Storage Awards, and IT Pro. But most importantly, we are one of the company who has been listed in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for the past 10 years. This is one of the important differentiator with other Taiwanese vendors. And DS3000 and DS4000 series has won multiple awards for price performance ratio globally. Another reward for DS4000 series. And during our almost 30 years expertise in storage, we have been producing OEM and ODM support for Fortune 500 brands like Quantum, Roorkee, and still ongoing with a Japanese company, Toshiba Medical. In the CCTV or surveillance industry, we have been doing OEM for Honeywell and Bosch in the past. So here I would like to cite a global success story from Korea. Their internet speed and customer demand is very high. In this project in Seoul's Gwangju district, where more than 2,500 CCTV cameras were deployed, customers selected Infortrend thanks to 4U60 bay, high density, and fiber channel support. And this project continued for the last 2 generations of DS3000 Gen 1 and until today, thanks to stable and reliable operation of Infortrend units. So for the UAE market, these are some of successful stories we have done in the past. And to sum up, Infortrend has benefits to partners and customers by providing fair price policy, better price performance ratio, open drive policy, and lots of technology built in-house. So I thank you very much, and I and Mr. Tashi Sen, our pre-sales FAE colleague, we would like to take your questions as a Q&A session. So is there any questions?
If anybody has any questions, you can kindly ask us in the chat box now. Or if you are still, if you have the questions, of course, you'll have the opportunity to ask the questions at the end of the presentation also. So please feel free to ask those questions. Okay, thank you, Mr. Fatih, for walking us through this impressive product line. It's no wonder that Infortrend is a market.
For your time, patience, and attendance today.
Thank you, sir. With this kind of a product line, it's definitely no wonder that Infortrend is a market leader in the high performance and storage market. But then Eon Serve product, which is an NVR plus storage in a single box, is also a very impressive product, and that can help the SIs cut down the cost and complexities. So if you are an SI and you have a project which is less than 150 cameras, let us know and we will suggest you an Eon Serve product. If you have 150 to doesn't matter how many thousands of cameras, let us know and we'll design you a solution with Infortrend and Digifort that will help you achieve your targets. Now, before we continue, I would like to ask you.
Thank you, Akash.
One
One more thing I would like to highlight before we end my session is that we have a new product line coming under the name EVI. And EVI's I is means that it is going to support AI functionality, also supporting Digifort along with third-party analytics software. These products are in design stage, and hopefully our next webinar session with you will be on these products. So
perfect, sir. So
that's
EVI
also
will
an
have the
announcement from
GPUs.
our side.
Thank you, sir. So EVI will mostly have the GPU as well.
Yes, EVI is similar to EonServe 5000 Gen 2, but having up to 2 GPU card support with enhanced power supply and riser card on it.
That will be excellent, sir. We'll be waiting for that. So now, before we take the presentation forward, I would like to ask you one more question, an interesting one, hopefully for everybody. So let's say if you have a whole footage of traffic and the vehicles with it, what information can you not get with an analytics software? Okay, please type your answers in the chat box. What information can you not get? Can you not get the make and brand of the car, or can the VMS with advanced analytics not predict the license or plate number? Please chat. Mr. Mayra says E, yes. E, okay. Mr. Gopi Krishna says B, no sir. Okay, E. E, yes. Chassis number, yes. Mr. Zafar, E, yes. All right, so as most of you have guessed, of course, it cannot predict the chassis number because that is inside the vehicle and it's not visible. But then just imagine you have a footage of, let's say, 48 hours and the police is looking for a BMW truck of black color that was speeding in the north direction. And rather than shifting through those hours of footage, they can get that kind of information in seconds. It can tell you the brand of the car, it can tell you the license plate number, it can even tell you the category, whether it was a sedan or a truck, and of course the color of the vehicle. And this is just one of the many examples that a great VMS with advanced analytics can do for you. So to explore this more, I would like to ask Mr. Francois to kindly walk us through the Digifort solution, sir. Mr. Francois.
Thank you, Akash. Let me share my screen. Thank you very much. So I'm going to talk to you about Digifort. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm François Levy. I'm the business development director of the big region of EMEA. So how the verticals and institutions use a central VMS to protect citizen properties and assets is what we're going to show you how Digifort does that. So the team for, so I'm myself in charge of leading the full region. This slide is more dedicated to the technical support and how it works. You have also Meraj, you know, and Meraj is leading a region as a regional manager for the GCC countries. This is more to show you whenever there is a technical request, can be support, can be integration, there is a big team behind, and these always refer to me, and we dispatch to the team on site with Satish based in Dubai or with Rao based in India. But after it goes further up to the development team to deliver what you're expecting, what you're asking to the commercial team, right? What you're asking to Meraj. So the future growth, there's a big growth for IoT with all the CCTV, the volume of data, and thank you. So Fatih directly has presented the performance of your hardware. We're delighted to use. The reality is there's more and more data to handle. So for that, we come all along with a VMS. But VMS, what means really VMS to us? You know, VMS is firstly managing video streaming data, recording and visualization. That's the basic. And the live view, the playback with intuitive GUI, drag and drop to make it very easy. That's something not given to everybody, but is also natural to us. But it's more than that. It's also provide all the intelligence, the video analytic. Is as the example just taken by Cash for this BMW is how to retrieve the brand of the car, the color, the plate number, etc. So let's go along and see how it goes. First of all, I want to come along a bit of a story. Digifort, the first license, the first line of code has been sorted in 2001, and we actually sold the first license in 2006. Then Digifort was more centralized for the South American continent, but they expanded worldwide with opening of the office in Sydney. And myself, I started work with Digifort not as part of the team in 2009, but actually as a distributor and partner in France. Then I came on board myself in 2013, and Miraj joined me, was working for a partner in Pakistan, actually also got an history with Digifort before being part of the team. Joined me at Dubai office, and we expanded the office. We opened the Hong Kong office to cover the South Asian market. We opened the local presence, either commercial and technical, in 2018. So today, Digifort is 38,000 customers worldwide. When it goes customizes end users, you got 4 million licenses plus licenses. You got more than 9,000 devices integrated with 400 different manufacturers. There are no manufacturers. We know that sometimes they're rebranded from some manufacturers, but you'll find them in Digifort. We commercialize around 120 countries more, and we're translated into 19 languages. I've got to say part of it is Arabic. So all these numbers, of course, are growing, and we improve the reputation of our international market today. So as I said, there is an escalation. I mean, you end user just come to data care. Is having a problem is getting some team to escalate. So the team to escalate first point of contact is going to be Miraj, who is leading the region for your countries, and then can dispatch the case to either Rao or Satish. And then we've got into Latin America another level of technical support, which is not actually shown at this layer, but we've got an in-between technical support team in Brazil. And in Brazil, we have as well the integration team. So if it's actually a new cameras, new device to integrate, development team, and the development team as well in the USA. So we have got quite a good team, and we're around the clock, which is important to see, so we can support really long hours. So we create also certification. We are attached to maintain the standard and regulation all over the region. And for that, we've been certified by all the different organizations in the region. Can be in the UAE, can be in Qatar, can be in Saudi. So there's Oman as well. So there's a lot of certification already approved, and it's actually how Digifort operates and is so present. In this certification, there is two different levels. There is either what Fatih has presented, like the Aeon stores, I mean the server plus the storage, but also the Aeon Serve or similar architecture. We're using either a server storage all-in-one or also using NVRs on site. So we are proven technology. We've got very trusted partners. We are attached to, we've got value drivers, UVP. I mean, high performance, intelligence, reliability. So first of all, high performance, we're scalable. we can fit into any installation. We can get for 20 cameras up to thousands of cameras, and we have some 10,000s of channel sites. So we are also very integrated in the way we are user friendly, and we make Digifort at a single point of command. So you got an interface, and this interface gives you access to not only Digifort, the camera, the video, but also all the modules to integrate the analytic, the facial recognition, the plate number, etc. We make it very intuitive. There's a single thing where you do on to the client is what you would do everywhere in your computer as a right click of a mouse when you look for something. And I'm surprised that some of my competitors are not capable of doing any of that special quick function, intuitive function. In Digifort, you make a right click of a mouse and you get access to a lot of functionalities where you are. And we make the point that you reach in 3 click or less the main functionalities. We are very close to our partners, technology partners, can be camera manufacturers, can be storage manufacturers, can be any sort of other partners, technology partners. And therefore today we got over 9,000 different devices already integrated. It's growing every day. So the TCO in Digifort is low because we have no annual maintenance fee. So when you buy a license, it's perpetual and there is no yearly charge. The licenses are very flexible. Can we mix match video license with analytic depending on the requirement? So you got only one point of contact to buy all these licenses. So we take responsibility. We sell you those licenses. We support, we design, we train, we troubleshoot. There's no hidden cost in the way when you buy an edition of Digifort, you get all the functionality in this edition, and there is no extra cost. There's no extra cost to get an Active Directory or to get virtual matrix or to get different functionality like mobile clients, etc. So we are dynamic. We're dynamic, but each time we launch a new version is a deep version. If I take in between 2019 and April 2020, from 7.2.1 to 7.3, we had 200 new main features. And actually, we are working to release to 7.4, and the main big feature we're going to make you discover later. So we are always dynamic. When we launch a version, it's not a facelift. It's really something major. So what is the architecture of Digifort? The architecture is got all the servers are sitting next to each other. And so you can get in a modular way, had any number of servers sitting next to each other. And that doesn't create a bottleneck because we don't require a management server creating a bottleneck on top of the pyramid. In this case, any query coming from the client to see a live or playback footage, it goes directly to the server handling the dedicated camera. The failover is the same. The failover, they're actually monitoring directly the main servers, and they trigger straight away, not requiring again the interface of a management server directory is taking time to react. So all the Digifort server are on the base natively developing server client architecture. You can position all these servers with no geographic boundaries, so they can be established on the LAN or on a WAN. We are very attached to new features, yes, but not only. Our challenge is also to get a solid coding and performance philosophy. So any new feature we bring over, it has to be quick, responsive, operative. It's not for a show, it's for real life. We are very responsive and less CPU intensive, and this is also a reality that we really require much less server model VMSs. So as I said, as you see on this screenshot, you got everything. You've got video, you've got facial recognition, you've got video analytic, you've got POS, you've got LPR. altogether it comes along into the same GUI, the same interface, because we're a centralized video management solution. So live monitoring of all the cameras from DVRs and VRs from remote site. We can central recording, so we can have the recording actually locally recording into the NVR DVRs, but we can centralize these recordings into a central site. You can receive any sort of alerts directly across the infrastructure. Can be directly from the camera, can be directly from the NVR DVR. If we lose the video, there's a discover, motion detection, any other. We can play back directly the video from the video stored in the NVR. So you actually, on the central monitoring, you got different NVRs connected around the network over one. You want to play back the video is stored in one of the videos, typically like a bank project. You got a branch, you got an NVR, you want to play back this video. As we handle this edge recording, we can also self-healing, saying that if I've got the loss of, I don't know, one specific thing, or if I got an event, I can directly download the video. Or if I record a centralized video from the cameras of the NVR, and for some reason the service goes down, when it comes back to live, automatically the video will fill up the missing gap. And we can position all the different alarms directly on Google Maps, and I'm going to show you how. And we are also integrating the alarm management system with no extra module. So, put simply, VMS sits in the sweet spot of video-centric enterprise. So we position really Digifort in the central. We're going to become a proactive monitoring system. We create better real-time efficiency and response, and we help the security team to be proactive and really be fast. Also, altogether, which is a challenge, we achieve that at a really cost-effective price. I talk about edge video playback. So these NVRs, DVRs are integrated in Digifort. And when you migrate from NVR, DVR technology, and you got a customer say, yes, but I want to migrate and get essential monitoring and get a VMS and the VMS managing all these guys and all the expansion, we bring that all back to life. So we go along with the migration using the legacy of the existing equipment. And with the right click of a mouse again, you just directly play back the video stored in those boxes. There's a central platform, as I told you, and this central platform can actually retrieve the NVR, DVR, can be connected to, yes, a video down to system and access control. You can add up some extra cameras. I mean, really, the picture is big. And come to our team, come to Mirage and all this team with the requirement of your project, and we're going to design an architecture. I told you that we can position alarms onto maps. So we've integrated Google Maps as Google Map Live. You know, it's the same as you've got in your mobile phone. And when you get an alarm, it positions automatically the alarm right on the map, and you know exactly what is the case. You can review on the left side of the map what is the purpose of this alarm. So you can also position all your cameras and get different clusters and by zone. If you are in the UAE and say, oh, the city of Al Ain or the city of Dubai, Sharjah, you can see all that together and regroup into the global map. And into this Google map, you can match it with static maps, with building maps, and you can see the cameras with the viewing field. This viewing field can be the dynamic when it's a PTZ. If you move the PTZ, it's going to be dynamic. So on a map, you can also display the live view, the status of the dashboard, the PTZ presets, alarm IOs. You can activate on your audio message, and you can, of course, link to other static maps to go back to the Google map. When you actually click on the camera, you're going to see this from little window with actually the live view of the camera. But just right click on this live view of the camera, you just go directly to the playback of the video. As I said, the viewing field of a camera can be defined in a static way if it's a static camera, and it's going to become dynamic if it's a PTZ integrated. So yes, again, easy to use, intuitive. This is the credo with Digifort, and because the team going into the control room is not a team been trained for weeks on end to use Digifort, they arrived and they got it straight away to find their way, and this is the case with Digifort. You can run any sort of forensic investigation on playback, and as direct playback, again, the right click of a mouse, you see, I just explained. You can even get access to video synopsis like brief cam. You can access and create bookmarks, etc., directly from the image. So even the player, when you got the player open, you can drag and drop a view, a camera from the structure, a camera from the view. You can play back that in a very interactive way. So we can also make forensic investigation, slicing the video in thumbnails, or getting a smart search with the motion activity you can have into the image. When you bookmark Digifort, the good thing bookmarking Digifort, first of all, you can select the color. You can select, of course, the time, the cameras, but also you create a title, we create observation. These can be fed by the operator himself or herself, and it can be as well automatically done by the API when we do integration with access control, facial recognition, analytics, etc. So you can, yes, create that manually, automatically, as well by the alarm event, manual trigger, etc. We got something, the color is precious because you can classify very easily all the bookmarks at a glance. There's something else we do. We protect the recording against deletion. Giving an example, you've got, I don't know, 30 days, 120 days retention time, but you have some chunk of video is actually covered under an investigation. You don't want that to be deleted. And then you can protect this recording. You can define even an expiration date or not. And in that case, you're going to get this chunk of video covered by this bookmark is going to be protected against deletion. When we get the analytics, and the analytics can be LPR, in that case, you say LPR can be a behavior analytic. We pile up metadata, and all this metadata are stored in the system. And again, the example of Akash, thank you, Akash, for that. I can actually select the model, the manufacturer, BMW, the model, which model with the color, which color, click, 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 click. As you said, in a couple of seconds, I find my event because all these metadata are stored as well as the videos. We can be notified with an alarm for any sort of case. And we can create a lot of activities into alarms. So you can create snapshot videos, you can create a bookmark, you can recall a video from an edge, you can display some, there's numerous, and you can also send an HTTP command to a third-party software. It just triggers something else to the access control, to the any intrusion system, etc. We have features interesting is object links. So you can link the cameras together, putting some, overlaying some little icons that you've got in this image. And this will be allow you to actually link the camera. If you got, you've got this door, you've got a arrow on the door, and then it's going to show what is the next camera. So you click on that, you're going to see the image of the next camera. But you can virtually overlay icons for the camera, maps, analytic LPR, maneuverable events. If you put a button to open the door, you can position it next to it. On internal API command, alarm triggering to facilitate the triggering of an alarm, etc. And these links are available also in Playback. So meaning that when you search for someone who's stolen this mouse on the table and you click and you follow and you click on the door to go to the next one and to the next one, you can create a sequence. So you can create a little movie with all the different cameras involved into your investigation, and you can export this video after particularly by password with a watermark of your company. So the hardware, yes, is important because no hardware, no software, and we are experts to design and optimize the hardware. As much we are a partner with our hardware company like Infortrend, and we also want to optimize the hardware you're going to use and don't make you get a data center to run 1,000 cameras. Make no sense. So storage is very important, and I've got to say that overall the hardware, the most critical part of the design is not that much the computing, the power of the CPU. They're more and more powerful, but 90% of the troubleshooting is mainly related to the storage. The storage has to be properly sized, dimensioned, the way it's attached, the way it's configured, the way we create the cache, the power of the RAID controller, but also the capability of our team to review if the configuration has been done properly. And we got to, I got to say, we go over our task to just been after the software Digifort, but also we always take a look and to support you how we can improve the storage configuration. So yes, you need to have and make the right choice and to size properly the hardware, and we are happy to support you for that. Infortrend, I've got to say, we work with Infortrend for many years now. We've got also in our team someone very well trained in Infortrend is Satish. He worked for years for a distributor direct Infortrend, and he knows perfectly Infortrend. So it's also a precious asset. We require less service than other VMS. It is a reality. This is going to improve the space you need in your data center, the carbon footprint, the maintenance, and the cooling bill and everything all together. I mean, you got to consider a project not only by the cost of the license itself, but the whole architecture infrastructure you're going to deploy. And I've got to say, with the team Infortrend and Digifort, we do a good job for that. So when we got alarm, we got also a way to customize the popular alarms to make it easy for the surveillance team to go straight away to the point and be alerted promptly, be able to be proactive and react. We can customize the order size, customize the color of the border, etc. You got plenty of different options, automatic close up, etc. Got plenty of options to configure that. We got the network intercom integrated with different brands, and that's going to be just ding dong, can pop up a window, give access to the voice to the operator with a microphone of his workstation, and being completely integrated. We do a lot of intercom with car park. I've got a lot of parking lots in different countries in Europe. Digifort also behave like a public address in the way that we can organize the audio messages automatic or manual, or taking over the speech on the microphone over different IP audio speakers or audio outputs from the cameras. So the key thing is you got a security system, and the security system has to be up and running at any time, because if something happens, you don't want at that time your system is down. failover is a big thing, and you've got to consider that it's a bit like a windscreen of a car. You can't afford to actually drive in a black windscreen. Digifort is very performing in the failover and just swap straight away to the failover when it's required, and generate automatically a failover, even in the failover failback to actually inform you whether the main server is down or is back online. The good thing in Digifort, we don't only fail over the cameras, but also the analytics, the LPR, the out device, the maps, global events, operational maps, etc. And I've got to say that we are extremely fast. We're extremely fast. We take 3 seconds, about 3 to 5 seconds normally. 15 seconds is when there's a network issue. We limited the voluntary at this level to avoid that the failover might flick too quick in case there's the network's lagging. Also, cybersecurity is a big thing, as Digifort has really done its bit. In which way we made the comprehensive encryption all over. I'm going to show you how we create two-factor authentication. So it's a bit like when you go and log onto your bank account, you've got your mobile phone app, and it's giving you passwords refreshing every minute. It's the same thing. We force the user to use a strong password policy. We create a new report in which you got a unique barcode to authentify this report. We can blur some images for certain users to prevent and preserve the confidentiality of personal data. And we disconnect the user is going to leave his workstation open, has gone for a coffee or something like that. So the encryption, Digifort, we encrypt and we support the SSL TLS on HTTPS for the camera supporting it. We are all encrypted in between the server and the clients. We are all the mobile application are fully encrypted in TLS. Any remote PC web clients over the internet, of course, are encrypted and secured. We also have an RTSP server embedded in Digifort, allowing you to retrieve any video live stream from any camera connected to the server. And we support as well RTSPS in TLS SSL on the port 322. When we record a video, we encrypt the video either can be in AES and 28 AES to 256. They're fully encrypted. You see, I told you, I'm going to get a cup of coffee, disconnected. So came to the analytic. I'm going to just express quickly. Any analytic has to be very specific to the need you have. I just show you quickly all the different things we have. It might give you an idea, but as an example, we got the threat with the crime. We say we combine an object which is a gun with a person. This becomes a threat, but this is a person waving a gun, is a normal person. Is there where the analytic is again based on artificial intelligence. And thank you, Fatih, for the news that you're going to get this new machine coming up. We have got the PPA detection. PPA detection can help you out to see if the person at the building site is having the safety helmet, I mean the mask or the goggles. We can do that. And when you create safety helmet is differentiated from the analytic than a crash helmet from a motorbike. And the crash helmet actually is also in the category of crime because someone is getting in a bank with a crash helmet on is a bit suspect. We can analyze the position of an object if it's a person is standing up or is lying down on the floor, is having a health problem. We can detect the crowd for social distancing, and if it's a higher density or people are too close, we can analyze that in a very accurate way. We can detect some object, and in the case of object, you've got a numerous number of objects we're capable of detecting. I think there is in the general engine, because it's for different libraries, we've got more than 60 objects. we can detect smoke and fire in a very accurate and very fast way at its start, so we can react very fast when it's really at the beginning of it. So, and we have different analytic engines, because as I said, analytic is depending what you want to achieve. And we have another analytic embedded, which is VCI technology, and is more like loitering, direction filter, etc. And when we sell a license of VCA, we send the highest version of it, and you got all these filters embedded. So we always push it to get something very high-end. So yes, indeed, AI is really the future. It's not the future; it's already the present, but it's going to change a lot in our future life. For the LPR, we've integrated some different engines as well. You got AI with Carmen. Most of you know this engine. Neurolab is developed in Spain and is a good engine. OpenLPR is from the US as well, very performing. FF Group is the engine embedded in some cameras now. And I've seen that in Axis, and there's another Mobotics, I think. So they're embedded in cameras, because in LPR, like same in analytic, we integrate not only the engine on the server base, but we integrate engine as actually hosted in the camera. And that's the case for the analytic as well. So yes, the analytic, as far as the analytic where the LPR is providing us all this data, we integrate them and they're fully in Digifort. So you're going to find all of that. And all together comes up into the same interface again. So you get all the reading, the information, you can search very quickly. As we know how to read some OCR, I mean, numbers, we also have the engine to read a container. And container is a bit challenging because you got the number in different phases of the container, and some are sometimes damaged by the handling. We got facial recognition. Facial recognition is very advanced in Digifort. We've integrated an engine called Cypher from Red Networks. Is today one of the best of the world, and is fully integrated in Digifort. So you can have face detection, face recognition, person detection, democratic characterization, max detection, and occupancy counting. So you can either use it as security to actually get, as an example, the person in the blacklist, or you can also use it as a merchandising on the commercial data for shopping center to see how many men, women, what's the range of age, what's the mood of the people. So stranger, threat, concern, unrecognized person, VIPs, employees, etc. I got to say the Surfer is 98.87% accuracy. It's really been ranked one of the best of the world today. And when you see actually NIST is actually National Institute of Standard Technology, is actually an American organization, is evaluating all different engines, you can see Cypher is on top of the range. So we completed a lot of different project references, and we picked up voluntarily all the projects being deployed jointly in between Digifort and Infortrend. So you got Agno Risk, the investment park, Jubilee data center from Etisalat. You got the federal courts with several different buildings, National Machine Crisis Disaster Management Authority. This is in the UAE, Hilal Bank Dubai. You've got the Sharjah Islamic Bank, Mirfa Hotel Dubai, Grand Millennium in Abu Dhabi. You've got really a lot of different projects. Dera Waterfront, which is a big one. So Digifort also gets a very proactive marketing division. We are attached to really show all what we can achieve into the strategy of Digifort. So we support actually all the different partners in company events, in a webinar like today. and social media. Of course, you can follow us in Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you very much. I'm more than happy to reply to any question you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Francois, for walking us through the Digifort solution here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. This brings us to the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. Well, we know how difficult it is to focus on a webinar when you have multiple emails to reply to and probably project deadlines to fulfill. So it's absolutely fine. You don't have to remember all the products and solutions that we have shown here. Just remember this. If you have a project, just come to us. No matter what size of the project, we'll put a solution together for you. And that's the message that I want you to take home. You'll be getting the recording of this webinar as well in your email. And you can reach us anytime on sales@datacaredubai.com. And that would be all. So thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, all the presenters, for showing us all those wonderful solutions. And have a great day, everybody.
Thank you very much, Akash, for welcoming us. And we are more than happy to help all these projects with our team locally. Thank you very much. Have a good day.